Hello, welcome back to the 2025 MG S5 EV. This is an all-new electric SUV by the brand MG. Kind of replaces the MG ZS electric, however this is on a whole new platform, the modular MG platform that the MG4 is built on. And in today's video I'm going to give you a walk around tour of the car, show you the interior, exterior and get it out on the road for a test drive. So stay tuned for this video. So this new S5 EV is built on the MG4 platform, which is MG's modular platform, which means other vehicles are going to be coming later down the line. It's packed with a whole host of bits of technology, which we'll cover when we get inside. But what I want to show you outside first is one, we've got this rather sleek design up front, quite a good low drag coefficient, daytime running lights up front, with the main beam down below. This kind of mimics a lot of modern car trends, like your Porsche Macan, for example. And then we also have down here real aero that goes round from the bumper round to the side of the car. So you MG fans watching might recognise the bottom portion of this grille, and that's because it's taken design language from the MG Cyberster sports car, which is the current flagship for MG. We've got the split design with this kind of check pattern here, with a little bit of plastic in the middle. But overall it's quite handsome and kind of flowy and curvy, which we've not seen on previous MG SUVs. Now around the side of the car, there's not too much to say. We've got nice chrome roof rails, chrome round the doors. The mirror caps also have the little camera for the 360 in them. It is worth mentioning these are on the 18-inch alloy wheels, and they are proper alloys, and they can pull that off. There's no covers on this. And the tyres in these cars are going to be Bridgestone or Continental, because MG works with them for the braking technology. So this car can go from 62 miles per hour to 0 in 35.5 metres, which is quite impressive. Now let's check out the back of the car. And round the side here is your charge flap, where you've got your rapid charging and your regular home charging, like so. Now, round the rear of the car is where things are going to get exciting and new and fresh. Now, MG, first of all, say these lights are checkerboard pattern. However, if you look closely, you tell me what you see if you look at it like that. Do you see an eye, nose and a little smiley face with a little kind of hat going on? Comment below and let me know. Now, overall, the rear design of the car kind of looks a little bit Germanic to me. I'm getting hints of like Volkswagen T-Cross or T-Roc going across here. And yeah, overall, pretty standard 2026 SUV back here. Being electric, obviously with no exhaust pipes down here. We do have your parking sensors, and this car is equipped with an intelligent rear tailgate. So, one kick, and it opens up to give you 453 litres of boot space, which is a pretty decent size. Now, what you can do is you can lift this floor out and raise it. So if you did want to have things loaded in, you're able to just go in and load it like so. You can split it like that. It's quite a configurable bit of area, as well as a fixed parcel shelf, which is quite nice. It's not flimsy or like material, it's quite solid. And then again, you can store that underneath if you wanted, or you can, configure it any way you want. The seats are 60-40 split, which gives you about 1400 litres of boot space with those seats folded down. Now, to fold the rear seats, there's no button or anything back here. You do have to go around to the side of the car and pull the lever down. But the seats do fold pretty flat once they are folded down, which is quite nice, and it gives you little tether hooks as well for your child seats when you're in the back of the car. But overall, a decent size. It is lined with kind of a carpeted material, so things are going to be, not running around getting scratched up back there. And as I said, the load height's quite a nice, just easy access to get in and shove things into the back of the car. Now, tailgate does automatically close on the trophy model with a touch of a button, like so. Alright, so you join me in the back of the MG ZS, 5'11", plenty of knee room, plenty of headroom, shoulder room's alright. We've got a nice flat floor back here, which means you can sit free abreast, no problem. Air vents as well as a USB charger, and we've even got an armrest if you happen to be carrying two, and you've got a little bit of cup holders and a little bit of black gloss plastic and a little bit of stitching in the middle. It all feels quite nice back here. Now you are going to notice this little Easter egg. It says MG on the centre strip here of the material, just like you see on the front seats. If you didn't watch this video, you might not notice that, but it goes MG over and over. And then the mat pockets themselves have lined with this kind of like fuzzy stuff material, which prevents things getting scratched. And you can fold down the seats like so 60/40 as I mentioned at the rear. You pull the little handle there and you can do that. But overall, visibility is not too bad. And the material quality back here is pretty much what you see up front. Nice blend of the plastics with the kind of rare style material and physical door handles and window switches, which is nice to see as well. All right, you join me in the cabin up front in the MG S5. Now, the first thing I took away is this car feels very well built and solid feeling. You know, maybe gone are the MGs of old in the last like 10 years, but everything feels like quite solidly assembled. You know, you're feeling and pushing stuff, everything feels kind of like well built. That's not even shaking at all. You know, and there's more expensive cars that I've been in that feel a little bit more flimsy. So MG have done really well with this S5 model. So MG have listened to the customers and we now have buttons integrated into the dashboard here. So things like your fan speed can be controlled and your temperature, all with the physical buttons here. You've got hazards, defrost, etc., which is nice to see. A little bit of buttons coming back into the cabin. And I really like these ways to turn the air vents off. They've got a nice little tactile motion, turning them left and right. You know, I wasn't expecting that in an MG product, especially one at this price point as well. And yeah, it's got a nice little feel to it, so that's got a nice design feature. We do have two cup holders with little kind of rubber grips in them. This is all soft and squidgy here, and we've got like an Alcantara style around the gear selector in the middle here. This is where you put your phone, so it's a wireless phone charger, or you can sit your phone in this little cradle here. And then under the centre armrest here, we do have USB chargers as well as a 12-volt power outlet. It has got a rubberized material at the bottom, but it's just soft plastic on the interior of that trim. And this is kind of that leather style material that you see in the seats. Now, the dash of the car, this one has got the soft grey material. The material right at the top is this slightly harder plastic, but all this that you're going to see and feel, MG have done their best to give it like a nice soft touch vinyl material. We've got this kind of faux carbon fibre effect running across the doors into the centre of the dash there. So underneath where the gear selector is, we do have some storage. This is quite a nice little use of space because you've got this kind of floating design here, and you can maybe put things like bags or, you know, extra bits of luggage if you're doing a road trip or something like that, can all live inside there. So the seats in the car are pretty comfortable. You just kind of get into it and you squish into position. So it's got a nice kind of foam and padding into the seats, and you can wiggle yourself around. I am 5'11", plenty of headroom, shoulder room, and they are electric, so I can get myself comfortably adjusted, as well as the steering wheel having reach and rake adjustment, which you do not see in every MG model. Now, talking about the seats, they have got a nice blend of material. We do have the leather style material in the exterior, and then the interior is this grey fabric material. And then in the centre, you're going to notice the black trim here with kind of perforations on it. If you look closely, you're going to see it says MG over and over. Now, on the door cards here, we do have your door locks, physical manual door opener, and then we do have all-round electric windows, as well as nice soft vinyl stitching on the side of the door here. Decent sized door bin, which you can fit a bottle of water or something. And yeah, overall not too bad use of space. We also have things up here like your rear view mirror with the dimming for, so you don't get dazzled by lights at night. And up here's all your controls for your SOS and your passenger lights and reading lights. Got a little sun visor and a little mirror there. It does slide across, but does not pull for the sun. So the centre screen here is 12.8 inches and it is fast and responsive, but you're able to do things like you can turn on and off the driver systems at a touch of a button, because you can have that MG Pilot button there. So what you do is you go to MG Pilot, you can turn on and off maybe like your speed limit recognition, whatever you want to turn on and off and activate. Save it, so when you get in the car, swipe down, touch that button and it saves. So it's one button in and it just does everything for you. It remembers how you like to drive the vehicle. We do have your heated seats and heated steering wheel down below, as well as other driving controls. You can do your one pedal drive like so. What I quite like as well in this car, it does have integrated apps. So you can listen to things like your Spotify, and it also has wireless CarPlay and wireless Android Auto. So you join me behind the wheel of the MG S5. Let's see what it's like out on the road. Now, being a crossover, you do sit up higher than, say, things like this Corsa, that Qashqai a little bit taller than that, and we've got quite good visibility out front. Also, like when you're indicating, it comes up with the camera that's direction you're going in, you indicate and you turn the wheel, it brings it up on that centre screen there, which is quite a nice little feature to let you see your blind spot. So we'll do that again, indicate in the left camera, under the mirror, pops up. Now, interesting, this is a rear-wheel drive setup, so you're getting over 200 horsepower in the trophy model long range and rear-wheel drive. So 0 to 60 is just over 6 seconds, which means it's quite a brisk vehicle, for this kind of point in the market. I think if you were coming from a combustion like 1.5 litre, you would really notice the difference in this car, because you're getting all the benefits of an EV being like smooth, linear performance. So this car's about 4.47 metres in length, and you've got about 1.67 metres in height. The width of the car is about 1.84 metres, so it doesn't feel too bad here on the UK roads. Now, the wheelbase of this vehicle is about 2.73 metres, which means it's got quite a good interior comfort and passenger space. Curb weight of this electric car is 1,725 kilograms. Now, when you're choosing your MG, there's a couple of options to go for. There's a standard SE model, there's an SE long range, and there's a trophy trim. Prices start about £28,500, and you go up in £2,500 increments. So if you want long range, £2,500, add another £2,500 to get a long range with the trophy, which is this model today. And then you're about £500 for the paint. I think it's about £600 for red paint, but this Piccadilly blue is about £500. So you're looking at £34,040 as configured today, which is all the bezel whistles and that Piccadilly blue paint, which I quite like. So as standard on the SE model, you get a 49 kilowatt hour rear-wheel drive version, or you can get this trophy with a 64 kilowatt rear-wheel drive. So it really does depend on what you're going for, because you do get more when you go up and pay a little bit more. So charging this car, you've got a couple of options. You can use the 7 kilowatt home charge. It's going to take about 11.5 hours to go from 10% to 100%. Or if you find a fast charger, it's about 150 kilowatts. You're going to get from 10% to 80% in about 28 minutes. So this car is riding on the 400 volt architecture, so it can take a few different types of charging rates. A special thanks to MG Frasers of Falkirk for loaning this car today. I think it looks really sharp and handsome, and if you're looking for a car under £34,000, it's all electric, it's going to be ticking a lot of boxes. You're going to benefit from the warranty, the space practicality, and quite a nice interior, as well as some gadgets. Now, if you do want a lesser range and more affordable option, the SE starts just over £28,000. Now, comment your thoughts on the car below, and I will see you next video. Make sure to subscribe, like, see you later. Ciao.